Welcome to the third episode of TBBAP.
That's TBBBAP, two best brothers bitching about ponies.
I'm your superior host, Phantom Horn.
And I'm your sexually charged host, Keg Standard.
So this episode is one we've all been waiting for. An episode about comic books, or, as they're known by more mature readers, graphic novels. I've also heard that in the far eastern land of Nipponi, they are known as manga.
Fucking nerds, man. Piss me off so bad. I'm here to talk about ponies, not your stupid nerd comic books, alright?
Listen, Keg. Enchanted comic books are a young medium, but they're finally starting to get the respect they deserve as a legitimate branch of literature. In fact, just last year, Twilight Velvet was finally awarded the long-overdue Pulitzer Prize for her graphic adaptation of the Daring Do series.
Okay, maybe Enchanted comics are okay, but we could agree that regular comics are shit, right?
Absolutely, I'd never read them.
No one would read those.
No. It's magic or nothing. So, I'm gonna go on record as saying that this episode was pretty good. I think it is the best Spike episode ever.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Spike of the year.
8 out of 10?
8 out of 10? That's pretty generous.
I liked it. I did.
I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
I just thought it
I
was
thought I would hate it, but I actually was okay with it.
You see, I'm kind of still in that first boat, because I thought it was just, like, so obvious the whole time. It's just, hey guys, you like your ponies? Do you like your superheroes too? Well, we've got an episode for you, friend.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, I don't mind.
And then, like, nothing interesting happened. Nothing interesting happened. It was just...
There are interesting things.
Like what?
The Maniac's henchmen
were retarded. And why did they follow her? They had no motivation.
They're funny because they love their hair.
Yeah.
They're fashionable men who love their hair.
Well, I did like that.
And they want to further the cause of hair in Manhattan.
But they, like, the cause of evil hair. That really isn't, like, promoting good hair. It's promoting, like, this evil hair thing.
Okay, theory.
Yeah.
The men support her plan so that she will ruin everyone else's hair, so they'll be the only ones with good hair.
But you see, the problem with that is her plan was specifically to make everyone have hair just like her.
Maybe they want hair like that. Maybe they want their hair to be powerful.
But she also says she wants to destroy the city.
Does she want that too?
But I think via this hair thing.
Yeah.
So what exactly was, like, her... I mean, okay, so she's insane. So that's her motivation. But what is their motivation for helping her... destroy the city / I mean, you say it's because of this hair thing.
It's hard to say. She might have been paying them. They might just like the idea.
Poorly written to say.
They might like the idea of everyone else having crazy hair. They might want to enhance their own hair power.
Yeah, maybe. But I'll tell you my theory. Yeah. My theory is that it's a supervillain, and supervillain have henchmen. Here they are.
I'm gonna actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I know that the plot is simplistic and a bit contrived.
I mean, I know it's...
But it knows
it's
that
the lampshade hanging. It's...
Yeah.
I really hate that. I really hate, in general... Like, the whole episode, by the way, was about how Spike proving he's not useless, and yet, every episode up to this point has featured Spike in a useless capacity. And now this is his big, like... Oh, guys, it turns out Spike wasn't useless all along. No, that's a cop-out.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That made me like the episode more because I have been feeling a little... I mean, the jokes at Spike expense are funny. They've been getting a little heavy recently.
Like when? Oh, like when he crashes into the outside when Twilight teleports inside the house when she gets her wings
in the season opener. Yeah. Yes, like that.
Yeah, that was the most.
And how Twilight didn't care about
his fears.
His fear in Castlemania.
Yeah.
And
it's getting worse.
Yeah, they've been kind of mean to Spike, and
they probably watched Pony MOV.
This episode dialed it back and kind of was like a little nice to Spike and had him kind of come out of that.
Yeah, it's true.
I appreciate it because, like, I'm willing to laugh at Spike, but I like them to be nice to him too because he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, he's a kid, so I guess how much can you expect of a kid in terms of, like, big story stuff going on?
I really liked when they did kind of a little subtle joke, and then they explained it more later, but at first it was kind of subtle when he's like, Humdrum, he's useless. He's only there for comic relief, and then he steps in the bucket and it gets stuck on his foot. So, like, he's being Humdrum. He's doing comic relief.
Yeah. So, I get it.
Then later they go a little more ham-fisted, and he's like, Humdrum's in the way again. Guess I know how that feels. Like, I get it, Spike.
There's some weird things that happened in this episode. Just talking about how Humdrum is useless. He looks at his tail, like, as if his tail is somehow part of the problem. And I just was really confused as to why he would do that. Is it because he's saying, like, he's not a pony, therefore he's not like them?
I don't think that's it, because I think Humdrum is a pony in the comic.
Yeah,
it's not made clear, but I don't know what else he would be.
Could be a dragon. It could be a zebra.
Seems unlikely. It would have been worth mentioning if Humdrum was a dragon. I assume he was a pony.
I don't think it's really that important.
It would be like Spike's like the only dragon that hangs out with ponies. So if there was a comic book portraying one, I think he would have been interested in that.
That's true. But consider the precedent they established with Daring Do, that every character in a book, as imagined, looks exactly like the one that's actually in the story. So we can only assume, based on that Humdrum is indeed a dragon. A useless dragon.
I don't think that the Power Ponies actually look like the main six, and therefore I don't think that Humdrum actually looks like Spike.
Well, it's possible.
I don't think so.
And what about this part? At the end, Twilight goes, like, when they succeed at the end, she says, "Spike always comes through for us." When has Spike ever come through for them before?
Well,
is that a single time? I mean, his episodes, which Spike at Your Service. Well, he was there for Applejack, but she didn't want him there.
Well, okay.
In that episode.
In Just for Sidekicks, he did fuck up, but Twilight didn't know that he fucked up, so I could see why she might think he's reliable.
Yeah, well, okay, I guess that makes sense.
I guess in Dragon Quest, he doesn't so much come through for them as he does the right thing, which is kind of like coming through for them.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean, they show up to rescue him, but like he on his own, like, I mean, he could have been like, yeah, dragon, smash the egg, but he didn't, so I could count that.
I suppose so.
So about the Maniac, some things I liked was that she was a female villainess whose henchmen were all male. What I like about that is she didn't, like, I could have seen them doing a much stupider thing with it. Like, she was a beauty queen who was trying an experimental new hair product, and
No, she was a business owner.
Yeah, she's a business owner. She's a factory owner who had an industrial accident, and her henchmen, I don't know, it's like the obvious thing to do is to have a female villain with all female henchmen. Yeah. And they didn't do that. It's not a big deal. I wouldn't have been too offended if they did, but I like it this way.
I guess it was nice, I suppose.
It was good.
I didn't really think of it.
No. It occurred to me.
Oh, you know what was funny? I really thought it was funny when Applejack comments on like the fact that the Maniac calls them the Power Ponies, and Applejack says, like,
"Did you just call us the Power Ponies?"
However, Spike had just done that, and she didn't give a shit.
Yep. She's like,
"What
Spike's,
the fuck?
You're the Power Ponies, Maniac. Hey, Power Ponies." What the fuck did she just call us?
Just disregarding Spike. They're really beating this horse.
Yeah.
So no pun intended.
Yeah, this episode, it was a little mean to Spike at the beginning, but it brought it home at the end. And it actually gave him his plan to beat the Maniac. With he does that thing with the sheet and he ties it up with a chain. And
that was smart. That was really smart.
It's smart and it's actually pretty cool. So I liked it.
But again, like, I thought his whole issue with like not having superpowers was kind of contrived, just because. Like, look at, I don't know, I was going to say Pinkie Pie, but Pinkie Pie basically does have superpowers. Yeah. But, like, Applejack, she's a lowly earth pony, and yet she gets shit done just like everybody else. But then again, she's got the elements of harmony. That's kind of a superpower there.
Okay, Applejack is stronger than the average pony. We saw in the mysterious Mare Duel that she is, like, really fucking strong.
She stopped that cart, right?
Yeah, so she almost is superhuman.
I don't know about that. I mean, with a guy like Big Mac around, he's got super strength. That's why he's my favorite pony.
So I don't know. I kind of think that the ponies they don't have superpowers, but they have talents.
Twilight does.
Twilight does. I think Rainbow Dash kind of does.
Rarity kind of does.
All the things they get in Metropolis are kind of things they already have.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like Twilight got a serious power down. Because she could only use one shitty spell.
Less powerful in the comics.
Which, I wonder if she got frustrated. Like, fuck, why can't I do my fucking teleportation spells? I have this done in 2 seconds.
I mean, Rarity got powered up, but it's...
No, Rarity got powered up for serious.
We've seen Rarity do things like that in other times, like when she heals that branch onto that tree in not Rita, the Slumber Party one. Look Before You Sleep.
Rarity and Applejack have a sexy time. That's also my favorite episode.
It's the Slumber Party one, but yeah, when she like shapes those
sexual tension. The episode
she shapes those branches into the ponies and then she affixes it to the tree. Yeah. That was some weird and cool magic.
Possibly
that she
time
did.
Control.
So Rarity's got power too.
Yeah, and I mean Fluttershy can talk to animals. That's a power she has.
And
Pinkie Pie can do anything.
The stare. When she gets mad, she uses the stare.
Yeah, it's an extension of her communication powers, but whatever.
That's true.
Hey, so with this magic fucking comic book, which was retarded, by the way.
You think so?
I do. I do. Oh, hey, here's the thing. Why did Spike talk at the beginning of the episode saying like, oh, Humdrum never does anything right. He always fucks up.
Yeah.
But this is the only issue of the comic book that probably exists. He was talking as if it was a serialization, when in fact it was just one edition.
Well, who knows how long the book was?
It looked pretty. Pretty thin.
It looked pretty thin. Maybe it could have been 50 pages beforehand. There could have been several adventures in one episode.
I guess it's possible.
So I think that a lot of people expected the twist at the end to be that it was a Discord trick. Personally,
another Discord trick.
I was actually expecting that like Twilight had enchanted the comic to like teach Spike a lesson about self-respect.
That'd be weird.
That was what I was expecting.
That'd be her like turning into Celestia.
Which she is a princess now, so wouldn't that be fitting?
Ooh.
But no, it was just an enchanted comic book, which it's weird, but I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
This is a magical Ponyland after all.
Hey, did you notice that Spike, at the beginning of the episode, when he is telling Twilight about her powers, says that she can shoot a bunch of different kinds of magical rays, but she only ever does the ice one?
I think at the end we see her fire a red beam, we just don't see what it does.
Oh, well, okay.
So maybe it's fire or something else.
Fire or force, code of force.
Yeah. So the Maniac's plan, the way that Maniac keeps the Power Ponies under wraps, is actually really good and actually makes a lot of sense. And is well thought out.
You know, it was better than a lot of a lot of villains.
Better than Awizodel's trap to keep daring do.
Yeah.
Hey, let's put her against a wall where the shackles come off if you pull on them.
You know, that's true. That's true.
Whereas this one,
give her credit.
She's got a guy who's on a timer who's pushing the thing. Like, she knows exactly what her trap is and like exactly what its limitations are, and she's designed it around that. And they wouldn't have been able to get out of it if it weren't for Spike being there. And like, Spike has to actually observe what the trap is before he can formulate his plan on how to get them out of it. So it's a smart trap.
It was a smart trap. Mm-hmm. You know, kudos to her, I guess.
Yeah.
Insane, but yet not completely retarded.
She knows what she's doing. She's been fighting the Power Ponies for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, you want to hear some serious bullshit? How come the Maniac never actually fights? She doesn't do jack shit.
Yeah. Although I liked her walking around on her hair.
That was cool. Yeah, and I kept thinking like, wow, she's going to be really cool in combat. I can't wait to see that happen.
She was very expressive and moved well. I liked seeing her. Well, I liked her eyes too.
Yeah, I liked seeing her too, but I want to see her fuck up some ponies. And I just got a big half chub that whole episode waiting for the glorious release, and it never came.
I guess it would have been cool. Yeah, no, you're right.
Would have been cool. She's a super villain. Come on.
She has a big laser.
She shoots the laser at Fluttershy once, and then immediately jobs out.
But I thought that was awesome. Okay, what's cool about that scene is that the whole episode has built up, like, the whole thing is, don't let her make this beam. Don't let her make this beam. Then at the end,
it doesn't do anything.
All the pieces... Well, no, it's because, like, we know how powerful this beam is, and so then we see Fluttershy goes beast mode, and she gets the beam, but she's able to deflect. I don't know. That it hyped up the beam, really. It made me, like, aware of how strong the beam is. It made Fluttershy seem really powerful. It was awesome.
You know how this episode was about Spike being useless and proving that he's actually useful?
Yeah.
You know who's actually fucking useless?
Nope.
Fluttershy. She doesn't do anything.
She destroys the cannon.
Yeah, at the end of the episode when they were already winning and could have done that anyway,
Maybe.
She finally uses her powers, which I wanted to see before, but then, man, it was so stupid. Like, she's just literally hiding while everyone else is fighting. She sees her enemies getting hurt and like beat up and captured, and that doesn't make her at all angry, and she just sits there and cries about it. That's so stupid. Man, I really hated her in this episode. It really pissed me off.
It was in character.
No, it wasn't in character, because their friends were in real danger.
No,
and
by that
point
they were winning. Oh, are you talking about earlier when they all got hairspray?
the whole episode.
Well, at that point, she was not angry. She had no...
She should have been.
At that point, she had no powers.
She was a fucking coward.
No, Spike asks her, aren't you angry? And she says, I'm not so much angry as I am concerned and terrified. Which is like, yeah. I get it.
It's fucking cowardly because her friends are fighting for their lives right now and she's just too scared to do anything.
No, that's bullshit. You'd have been scared too.
Of course I would have.
You talk a big game, Keg.
Yeah, I do.
But you don't know shit. You don't know what the power ponies have to put up with.
Fluttershy has fought in wars before.
Fluttershy has a social anxiety disorder, and you need to respect that. Clearly, she was being triggered at that point in the comic.
Yeah, she was being triggered, all right. Nah, fuck Fluttershy. She was an asshole. Her friends needed her, and she wasn't there for him. Spike was actually willing to help. Well, he kind of was a coward too.
It's called character flaw. It's a character flaw. She's got one. Deal with it.
Did she fight in the fight against the changelings in Candlelight Wedding? She did, right?
Maybe kind of reflexively kicked.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
She wasn't gung-ho about it.
Okay.
She didn't, flip her shit like she did in this episode.
I guess it's in character. But we've seen her flip her shit before. But not like this.
No.
Not physically. She usually gets just really passive-aggressive.
Which was great. When I saw her transforming... I was like, oh no, it's gonna be terrible. It wasn't that bad. She looked kind of good.
Dude, her transform was the best part of the episode. She was so fucking beefy.
She was.
And ripped out of her gourd. Holy shit, dude.
I thought she was designed nicely.
I liked her design. I liked the fact that her hooves were still really tiny.
Yeah.
And then at the end when she gets to brush, she's like, clap, clap, clap.
Yeah, when she
awesome.
suddenly gets shy, when she's... it was good. I knew they were building up to it.
Clearly.
I knew they were gonna make a big thing out of it, and I was looking forward to it, but I was also dreading it. Like, oh, is it gonna be terrible? Nope.
Yeah, it was good. Seeing Flutter's beef up was great and all, but I wonder if it's really responsible to show this kind of imagery, especially to kids.
Well, what do you mean, Keg?
Well, that's something I want to talk about here on TBBAP. Now, some of you folks probably know my buddy Snowflake. When I first met him, he had never set hoof in a weight room, but I brought him into the fold. But I warned him, always keep it natty. And I don't have to tell you how that turned out. You think that was his urine they tested at Wonderbolt Academy? Guess again. Write this in your next letter to Celestia. Keep off the juice.
Now, I know you don't read very much, but if you were at all familiar with Power Ponies canon, you'd know that Saddle Rager gained her powers from cosmic rays, not from chemical enhancements.
Shut up, nerd. Hey, did you notice that during the fight, Applejack, her scene in the fight is her tying up a bunch of guys with a lasso, and then she ties it up to the rafters and they're hanging there, and then literally 1 second later, the next scene, she is then using her lasso to whip some guys.
Maybe she has more than one. She has a utility belt.
It's quite clear. She has a psychic connection with one lasso.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It was wrong, and I'm offended personally. Also, what the fuck, her horseshoes that she throws around?
They're like batarangs.
Are they magic?
No.
Then... Okay, I just thought
no, surely not.
Yeah, definitely not. She has exactly 2 golden horseshoes.
No, she
used
had
to incapacitate.
She has a pouch. Maybe she's got a whole.
No,
bunch.
They sit on her back. She had 2 slots.
Is that? I didn't notice.
She has exactly 2. Are those magic too? No, we never see her do anything with them. It was just weird.
Let me just say, when I was watching this episode in the stream, when Applejack tied herself to the lamppost, and then again, when she was like, I can't move, it just gets tighter. Everyone in the stream was like, oh, bondage fetish. Fuck you, bronies. Fuck you.
Why, Ben? They just pandered to the sexual audience a little bit.
Sometimes, you can't see someone get tangled up in rope without thinking it's some kind of weird thing. It's just a rope.
Just because you're uncomfortable with your sexuality doesn't mean the rest of us have to be.
I'm very uncomfortable with my sexuality, and you know that, Kay.
I do. Hey, remember? It was funny when Twilight says, you're an important part of this team, Spike. Yeah, keep dreaming. You can't do jack shit.
The moral in this episode was really, really hammy, and it comes on like a flash, and the moral music is there suddenly, and it's oh no, we're in moral mode, and it was really bad, but it was over.
The moral was clear.
The moral was clear, but the delivery was really here's a moral.
But it
was really fast. It was over as quickly as it began, so I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Hearing the morals is the toughest part of the episodes to get through for me, other than maybe the opening theme song sometimes.
Why, you don't like the opening theme song?
I don't care for it.
Well.
It's goofy. You know? It puts people off when they start the show up and that's the first thing they see, you know?
Oh, well, I guess I can see what you mean.
It's
Again, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I think you should examine yours.
So animation-wise, this episode...
It was really good. It was really good.
It was good. The costumes were nice. The only real standout moment... Well, I guess...
The hair animated on the main.
Yeah, the Maniacs' movements were good. I like the scene where they're all being pulled into the book. There's a lot of squashing and stretching going on.
Yeah, that was cool.
It looked nice. I went back and watched it again. I was like, oh, look at him go.
And I got a chuckle when Pinky just jumped in after everybody else.
Yeah.
Ha ha! Typical retarded Pinkie Pie.
She's just being Pinkie Pie, Keg.
You see, that's the thing. You know, Digibrony talked about this a little bit. He's talking about... No, it wasn't Digibrony. It was Drowning in Horseshoes. Drowning in Horseshoes talked about how he hates... how Pinkie Pie is being consistently characterized just as a retard.
He's not,
especially in season 4.
He's not the only one that's noticed what people are calling her Flanderization.
Yeah, she's lost a lot of her character and just been reduced to pure comic relief.
I think that's sometimes true.
I think it was true this episode. She didn't do anything.
She was fine. She was in the background too much to really be an offender. They were all in the background. This was a Spike episode.
Yeah, that's true. Still, though, watch out for these Pinkie Pie episodes, because... I'm worried about him.
I think I will reserve my judgment until we see an actual Pinkie Pie episode, which is coming up in the next week or two.
Oh yeah,
apple pie or Pinkie Apple Pie.
Oh my God, we gonna get to see her hot sisters?
I don't know.
Holy shit! I'm gonna hit that so hard, dude.
It's the one with the apples to the core song. It's coming.
Awesome.
It's coming.
Awesome.
I don't know if her sister's there.
Her sisters are so hot.
Yeah.
By the way.
I mean, no.
Have I said that?
I mean, stop objectifying people.
No, I won't. That's all I do.
He never will. Also, in the animation department, just thought this episode visually was very different from other episodes. It took place mostly at night, which is unusual, and more importantly, it's, I think, the only episode that has ever, maybe will ever, take place in a modern urban environment, which is really cool.
Fake land.
Yeah.
But you're probably right.
Like the colors in the background were very different, and the environments in this episode were very unique, so it wins points with me just for that.
Yeah. But, yeah, you never know. An episode could take place in Metropolis. It's possible.
Do you mean Cantor?
No, Metropolis, where Applejack goes to visit.
No, you fool. What? For that was, in fact, Manhattan.
Damn it, you're right. Where Babs is from.
You need to pay better attention to canon.
I'm sorry. So maybe the CMC will go visit Babs in Manhattan someday.
I mean, we did see a little bit of Manhattan in Cutie Mark Chronicles.
Yeah.
But you gotta admit that Metropolis is very distinct from Manhattan.
Yeah,
as well.
That's true.
The kind of like neon colors and lights going on in the nighttime scenarios.
It was cool.
It was.
Hey, how come the magic words on the book were so small that you need a magnifying glass to read them? Did they not want them to cast the spell?
Maybe it's so that you won't read them unless... Maybe it's so people won't accidentally read them if they're not looking for that.
He did read it accidentally.
Yeah, that's true.
So what the fuck, guys?
Like I said before, when I heard the rhyme, and I thought maybe it was a spell that Twilight had cast.
And this kind of ties into the whole big what the fuck. I was hoping for a good explanation of what's up with the comic book at the end, and they write off oh, he got it at a fucking magic Christmas store.
You know? That's the kind of thing that happens in Equestria.
That's the kind of thing that happens in a Spike episode. No one gives a shit. That's what happens.
I mean, have you heard some of the rumors about things that go on in Canterlot Castle?
A lot of fucking. That's what I've heard.
That wasn't what I was referring to.
Okay. Well, that's my interest. Let's hear about yours.
I don't have anything to say.
Typical Phantom. Nothing to add.
Well, I think that just about covers it for Power Ponies.
Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say.
All right. Well, this has been episode 3 of TBBBAP.
That's two brothers bitching about ponies. I'm Cake Standard.
And I'm Phantom Horn. See you next time. I gotta say, though, it was nice to see an episode of something about a fellow comics lover. I wonder what else Spike reads. One of my personal favorites would be X-Ponies.
Never heard of it.
Bat Pony?
I like the movies.
Scott Pony versus the World?
Is that the one about the gay dude?
What about Garfield?
Dude, everyone loves Garfield.